You know, one thing I pride myself on with this YouTube channel and with you, the viewer, is honesty. You don't have to agree with everything I say. You don't have to agree with any of my ideologies and any of my beliefs. That's fine with me. This is why when I first started, I always used to put in a comment section that this is the block-free zone. All comments are welcome. Because I believe in living in a free ideological society, a diverse ideological society. That's what I mean when I say free ideological society. That's what I mean about that. Like, people freely living their life the way they want, regardless of what they believe. That is what I believe. For some reason, NWSL players and US women soccer players do not believe in that. For some reason, a large majority of just women athletes in general, women professional athletes in general, they have this thought process that the world should revolve around their thoughts and around their beliefs. And if you don't share the same type of beliefs that they have, that you should be executed, that you should not exist in a society. I don't know where American professional women get this type of mindset from. I don't know who indoctrinated them to think as such, but that type of thought, that way of life, that way of living will really cause a lot of American female athletes to be excluded. Let's be honest. If it wasn't for the financial support of men, women's sports wouldn't even exist to begin with. So for us to have a large number of NWSL players being so vocal about the sexual reproductive rights in a way where if a certain state doesn't share their belief that they don't want to play in that state, it's really going to cause the leagues to go out of business. Now, the WNBA has been like this for years. And the only thing that I believe that's been keeping the WNBA in business is the support of the NBA and the support of ESPN. We all know that ESPN has been inflating the WNBA numbers this past summer. They want you to believe that the WNBA is on the same level as the MLS. But people who actually do basic research, not thorough research, but just basic research, will know that's far from the truth. WNBA and MLS, they're not on the same level, and it's not even close. So there's an article posted by the Coloradan yesterday on the 14th. And it basically, I can't really explain the type of article it was. It was printed like a written docu-series or like a written version of a documentary where they got multiple American women athletes from different sports, not only soccer, but also basketball, of course. And they're basically having these women view their opinions about the women's reproductive rights laws and the controversy that's taking place in this country. Now, me personally, I haven't really been following too much of the whole women's reproductive issue, and I'm not going to state my opinion on what side I'm on because my opinion doesn't really matter. But one thing I will say is this in regards to the NWSL. If you exclude states just because they have different opinions, they have different viewpoints as you. You're not living up to your personal morals of inclusion, because you can't say that you're an inclusive organization and you champion inclusivity when you exclude one group of people just because they don't have the same thoughts as you. That is not inclusion. That is exclusion. And in doing so, NWSL, you'll be punishing girls in red states that don't even give a damn about politics. Little girls who just want to enjoy soccer. Young female soccer fans. You're excluding them from the sport based on something that they have no control over. And because of that exclusion, instead of you being a national brand with the potential of turning into a global brand, you'll just be a local, regionalized sport like college football. NWSL, you'll be like the SEC. Every year, it's either Georgia wins the national championship in college football, or Ohio State, or Alabama. It's like a round robin between those teams. Every now and then, Oklahoma will make a run, but then they'll get eliminated in the first round. But it's like a round robin with the same teams in college football every year. One year is Georgia, and next year is Bama, and another year is Ohio State. Then another year is Alabama again. Then maybe Clemson or Florida State, and back to Ohio State. That's kind of league you will be in WSL. But that would be you on a worse scale, because NWSL is not as popular as college football. Jessica Bierman, I told you earlier this summer, you cannot be an exclusive institution. You turning into an exclusive institution will put you out of business. And at the state that you're in, you can't afford to go out of business. Because if you go out of business, you will not come back into business. Because you got the USLW that has much potential of being better than you. Because the USLW is not talking about we're not going to certain locations due to politics, due to political laws. The USLW they have a mission to make soccer accessible to every American girl, no matter what city, no matter what state, no matter what community, no matter what kind of environment they're in. The USL is dedicated, and they're making a strong push to make soccer accessible to every single American. So NWSL, if you choose to become an exclusive institution, you will go out of business and you will never come back in business. Because the USLW is emerging and they're continuing to grow, and they're not caught up in all these politics. They are on a mission to make soccer accessible to every girl. USLW has gone to the point where whenever we hear about a new city starting a USL championship team, we also hear that city's also going to start a USL Super League. Now the Super League is that's another USL women's sport. Women's league. So you have USLW and you have the USL Super League. The USL Super League is the women's version of the USL Championship League. And the USL Championship League, for those of you who don't know, that's the highest level. That's the highest USL level for the men's. It's second tier on the pyramid for US men's soccer. USL Championship is second tier. So USL Super League for the women will be second tier. NWSL is first tier. But the USL Super League can strongly emerge. They can surpass the NWSL as being the top on that pyramid, because the USL is not playing politics. I don't know who's giving you advice, Jessica Bierman. I don't know the type of people you work with. But whoever is giving you this idea to exclude states because of political ideologies, They don't have your best interests. Those type of people, Jessica Bierman, they're not really into sports. They're just disruptors. And the job of a disruptor is to make sure everybody is miserable. When something is going right, it's their job to come in and make sure it goes wrong. Disruptors don't want to see people happy. Disruptors don't give a damn about sports, Jessica Bierman. The only thing disruptors care about, they're paid people now. Their job is to make sure that controversy always exists. That's how they get their money. If there's no form of controversy going on, they don't get paid. Their job is to make sure controversy takes place in every American league all season long. Now, the only league that has done a good job of not allowing the disruptors to really distract the league, to make the league full of controversies, have been the MLS, the NHL, and Major League Baseball to a certain degree. And also, maybe we can put college football on that list too. The NFL and the NBA, no, they've done a terrible job against fighting against the disruptors because they want to be friends with the disruptors. They want to be liked by everybody, especially the NBA. The NBA wants to be hip. The NBA wants to be viewed as cool. So the NFL and the NBA has done a terrible job of fighting against the disruptors. But Major League Soccer has done an excellent job fighting against the disruptors. The disruptors tried with the Portland situation, with the domestic abuse claim. The MLS and the Portland Timbers, they took care of business. The player, I don't remember his name, but he's not playing for any MLS team right now. And he never will. He never will. Whatever his name is, we're never going to see him on an MLS team. And probably not a USL team either. He's done. The MLS has done an excellent job of fighting against the disruptors because the MLS knows that the disruptors don't have their best interests. They're not trying to work with the MLS to create solutions of how domestic violence can be prevented and be stopped among players. Disruptors want it to continue. And that's why stuff like this, like that, continues to happen in the NFL. Because the NFL have not fought back against the disruptors. Instead, the NFL is trying to be like the NBA and become friends with the disruptors. Because they want to be accepted and liked by everybody. But the MLS knows that you can't be accepted and liked by everybody. And that's what you have to realize, Jessica Bierman. You will never be accepted and liked by everybody. Well, I'll take that back. If you are accepted and liked by everybody, that means you don't have a backbone. If you are accepted and liked by everybody, that means you don't have a mind of your own. If you are liked and accepted by everybody, that means you have no standard, you have no vision. You're basically just a slave, Jessica Bierman. That's what you really are, Jessica Bierman. The reason why I started to talk more about the NWSL is because I see a lot of potential in this league. And also, honestly, because a lot of the women look good. But it's not only because of good looks. These women can really play. They are really, really good athletes. Besides, when it comes to American women's sports, besides the track and field athletes, soccer is right behind them. I think women's soccer players are the second best athletes in this country, behind track and field. Well, I mean track runners, not really the field women, but the track runners. Behind the track runners, women's soccer players are the second best athletes. Now, when it comes to just total skill, just plain skill in general, women's soccer is number one. Soccer is number one for women when it comes just for plain athletic skill. Because with track, it's not really a lot of skill. You just got to be fast and have good technique. It's not much skill for running. The NWSL, it says something about your league when your players make the headlines for their political beliefs more than their play on the field. That's not good. Whenever you as a league get more headlines by the things your players do or say off the field, more than their play on the field, that means your league stinks. Do I believe it stinks? No. But I don't represent the majority of Americans. The reality is, Jessica Bierman, your league stinks. That's the perception. And it stinks. This is how you know it stinks. Because your players get more recognition based on their political ideologies more than their play on the field. So that's something you have to work on, Jessica Bierman. Jessica Bierman, you and the NWSL, y'all got to stop acting like you're the only women's soccer league in this country. Because you're not. You threatening to exclude certain cities, threatening to exclude red states. Nobody gives a damn. They're not afraid. Because there's the USLW and there's the USL Super League. So that's why I say when you go out of business, if you go out of business, you're not coming back in business. Because the USL Super League and the USLW League will just pick up where you left off. Is it worth risking losing Angel City and San Diego and OL Reign and the Portland Thorns due to just some petty political ideology? Is it worth it, Jessica Bierman? Is it worth losing everything you built? Is it worth losing your entire brand just due to political ideologies? Jessica Bierman, remember what I told you this summer. You need to go to those states because there's an army of people waiting for you in those cities that is ready to work with you. They just don't have the same kind of clout and the same kind of power that you have. That's why you have to go to those cities and infiltrate the politics. And that's how you bring the change that you want to see. And it's going to be easy for you, Jessica Bierman, because the people want you there. So Jessica Bierman, you're not going to expand to a city like Atlanta because it's located in a red state. However, Atlanta is the feminist capital of the world. Atlanta is the feminist capital of the world. You can go to Atlanta and make major changes in that entire state of Georgia because you're starting a team in a city that is a feminist capital. Women move to Atlanta in droves every year because, listen, Jessica Bierman, you have a rich owner, a wealthy businessman in Arthur Blake that will make it easy for you. He already has a stadium ready for you, multiple stadiums available for you to use. The Atlanta United 2 team, they played their games at Kennesaw State University. You can play your home games at Kennesaw State University or Georgia Tech. I know Georgia Tech will welcome you with open arms. Maybe you can even, or the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Jessica Bierman, think twice. Think twice. And the people that are telling you, that are encouraging you to be exclusive, get rid of them. Get rid of them. Not expanding to red states will not help your league grow at all. It will actually hurt your league. So with that being said, I don't think that I'll be covering the NWSL or talking much about the NWSL as much as I used to moving forward because the league is just not strong enough to push back against the disruptors. Jessica Bierman, the disruptors, they're bullies. They're trying to force you into a corner and put you at a place of no return until you make a decision. They want to bully you to the point where you join them. And if you don't join them, they'll continue to bully you. This is why you need to have a backbone and ally yourself with people who have sports at heart. People who want to see women's sports grow in this country, regardless of the political turmoil that's going on in this country. People who are still willing to work and grow this league in the face of adversity. People who don't throw temper tantrum just because they don't get what they want. Because that's basically what you're showing, Jessica Bierman. Your league is just showing that you're being childish and you're just throwing an emotional temper tantrum just because you're not getting what you want. And then, Jessica Bierman, it's going to get to the point where you're going to have to start recruiting players who really care about sports, who really want to be good at their game. Women who are not using sports as women who are not using sports as a platform to prepare themselves for their political career after they're done playing sports. But women who really care about being great, and women who just want to be good at their skill. I don't know why the disruptors, it seems like the disruptors, they really target women. The disruptors really target women because they view y'all as weak. That's why I said, Jessica Biel, you have to have a backbone. You have to stand up to them. And remember, you threatening to not expand to red states is not helping your cause at all. It's only hurting your cause. Because the USL is saying, okay, y'all won't go to these cities? Okay, we're going to go to these cities. And we're going to become recognizable to little girls in these cities that want to play soccer. And when they grow up, they're going to say, we want to play in the USL, not the NWSL. So you're only hurting yourself, Jessica Bierman. This is why I believe that you're eventually going to go out of business before the year 2040 if you continue to have these exclusivity thoughts. Exclusion, not lack of popularity, will lead to the death of the NWSL.